The highly considerate and hard-working introverted type, the ISFJ is known for their reliable, caregiving and perfectionist ways. While the ISFJ is known to be one of the more gentle introverted types, it's not to say that they don't get annoyed like everybody else. So which pet peeves are amplified for this introverted, sensing, feeling and judging type? Welcome back, Psycho. Today we'll be talking about 10 things that the ISFJ personality type absolutely hates. But before we get into it, have you liked and subscribed to our channel? Go ahead, we'll wait for you. Be sure to click the notification bell while you're there so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it, starting with number 1. Rudeness and inconsideration. If you've ever met an ISFJ for yourself, you'd probably know them to be polite and dedicated individuals who use their words and actions properly. They understand the fact that words and actions can have a tremendous effect on other people by causing a rippling effect through social vessels. So when an ISFJ overhears less than kind remarks or witnesses a rude gesture, they can't help but imagine how many people that one negative action is going to affect. For example, if an ISFJ were to hear their co-worker get reamed by their boss in a negative manner, the ISFJ can automatically see that co-worker taking those remarks home with them and wreaking havoc on their family as a whole. Maybe it starts a fight between them and their partner, or maybe it even trickles down and is taken out on their children. ISFJs can see how many life changes could be solved by just being a little more considerate of one another. Number 2. Conflict in their close relationships. ISFJs, much like their introverted feeling and judging counterpart, the INFJ, hate when there is any type of conflict surrounding their closest relationships. Although it's fair to say that ISFJs don't really like conflict of any sort, for this introverted type, it's a little different when it comes to their close-knit groups of people they respect the most. Unlike some personality types like the INTJ or the ISTJ, who focus on the topics of the disagreement rather than the people involved, the ISFJ can't help but to take everything personally. With their secondary function being extroverted feeling, the ISFJ not only feels full empathy towards others in time of conflict, but they can at times actually feel the stress of the conflict physically, with headaches, stomach upsets, and trouble sleeping. Number 3. Disappointing others. Like many other highly sensitive introverts, the ISFJ can find themselves in a people-pleasing loop of struggling to set boundaries and avoidance in saying no. They have a deep calling to help others, even when they have to put their mental, emotional and physical health at risk. This innate desire to be of service to others results in the ISFJ holding an incredibly high expectation of themselves because a lot of people need help in this world. So when the time comes that they happen to let someone down or somehow hurt someone's feelings, they really feel the pain, often more than the person they let down. This is especially difficult when people take advantage of an ISFJ's generosity because they would rather keep helping than to protect their energy by setting proper boundaries and saying no. Number 4. Unclear expectations. ISFJs need a clear picture of what is expected of them no matter what the favour or project. Not only do ISFJs enjoy the act of having structure and order around them, but relating back to our previous point, they don't want to be the one to let anyone down. Therefore, the more clear and concise details of what is expected of them, the better. For example, if an ISFJ was assigned a certain project at work, they'll require clear-cut expectations of when it's due, the specific requirements of how to complete it, and how it will be evaluated when complete. On the contrary, if there is some lack of detail, a plethora of unknowns, or an open-ended outcome surrounding a task, an ISFJ can easily become stressed and overwhelmed. Number 5. Sudden changes in the routine. Not only do ISFJs require clear expectations, but they also want to know when and where they're fitting their tasks into their schedule. Like we said, ISFJs love structure and order in every aspect of life, meaning they take comfort in routine. Most ISFJs like to not only know when they are going to do something, but they also tend to have a specific order in which they like to do things. Whether it be simple mundane tasks like laundry, dishes, answering emails, to the more complex tasks like the order of their morning routine. ISFJs actually rely on the structured way of living to feel organised and efficient. So if their routine is changed, even in the slightest, an ISFJ will probably hate it. Number 6. When others minimise the importance of tradition. With a primary function of introverted sensing, it's no surprise that the ISFJ is rooted in tradition and routine. They are the ultimate gift givers and function planners because they take family traditions, like birthdays, Christmas and other holidays, to heart. They love the thought of making Great Granny's signature gravy recipe every year, or taking out the board games on New Year's Eve like they've done with their family for years. So when a family member lacks interest in these types of family traditions, or finds something seemingly more important to do, an ISFJ will not only be disappointed at that matter, but they will also have a personal fear that the tradition may be coming to a halt, something that an ISFJ would certainly not be okay with. Number 7. Having to be in the spotlight. Although the helping hand nature of the ISFJ may have them mistaken for extroverts in some circumstances, there's no doubt that the ISFJ is a true introvert at heart. Unlike most extroverted personalities who seem to amplify their energy when surrounded by other people, an introverted ISFJ must work quietly behind the scenes rather than take centre stage. They want to know that everyone is taken care of and having a good time, but they don't necessarily want to be part of the action for hours on end. In fact, the ISFJ can begin to feel quite uncomfortable and self-conscious if they were the centre of attention. So in other words, if there was a party, you'd probably find an ISFJ helping in the kitchen rather than proposing a toast to the crowd. And if they are proposing a toast, you can imagine that they're either tipsy or hating every second of it. Number 8. Lack of effort. One of an ISFJ's greatest strengths is that they put their all into absolutely everything they do. While some people rush through their work with little regards to how it will impact the final outcome, the ISFJ takes their work seriously, most often to the point of perfectionism. They see their completed tasks as an extension of their character, and they can't help but see the work of others as the same. They put their full effort into everything, not only because they see it as an extension of themselves, but also because they don't want their lack of effort to fall back on someone else to have to do. For example, the ISFJ would never clean the kitchen half-arsed because they know that someone else will have to clean up the way they didn't. Therefore, they can't stand when others don't use the same logic when circumstances make it so they are challenged to give less than their best. Number 9. When someone dismisses their feelings. While most ISFJs seem calm and collected on the exterior, this personality type actually holds some deeply sensitive emotions inside. Being the introverted type who is more willing to help others than burden people with their own feelings, the ISFJ tends to bottle a lot of emotions up in order to maintain their gentle image. Even when it comes to excitement, this personality isn't the type to call everyone on their contact to share the news. They first need the time to process the emotions themselves, but sooner or later, they may share their related feelings to a trusted source, and when they do, it's considered a big deal to them. And just as an ISFJ would react, they expect the reaction of others to be that of understanding and kindness. Yet, not everyone is equipped for kindness as an INFJ, so when their feelings are dismissed or considered invalid, you can imagine how hurtful it can feel to this type. And number 10. Invasion of their personal bubble. Warning: do not feed, pet or hug the ISFJ. Thank you for your cooperation. While the ISFJ is friendly and kind to all walks of life, the one thing they ask, or should ask, of people is to not invade their personal space. While they may love snuggling with their partner and children, most ISFJs can feel extremely uncomfortable when it comes to strangers or acquaintances crossing their personal bubbles. Anything from someone standing too close in a shopping line to an old acquaintance going in for a hug or a shoulder pat. ISFJs probably won't vocally stand their ground, but you can be sure that internally they are wanting to run in the opposite direction. Well, that wraps up today's video cycles. So, are you an ISFJ personality type? If so, do you despise these 10 things? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more psycho videos.